Separable equation is an equation of the form dy over dx equals f of x g of y. So what that means is that if you can write the first derivative as a product of one of the variables, a function of one of the variables times the function of the other variable. Now, this f of x could be a constant and the g of y could also be a constant, or they could both be constants. That's also fine. So the point is that you should be able to separate out the two variables. So here you should have a product of just one of them and times a product of just the second. And as we will see in the examples, that not all equations are separable. So if an equation is separable, then it's very easy to do the solution of the differential equation. So what we do is we collect one variable on one side and the other on the other side along with their differentials. Then we integrate both sides and then we add a constant on one side only. And that's also going to become clear once we do some examples. So now let's see. Determine whether the given equation is separable. So here, once you move this negative sign 7x plus y on the right side, you get dy over dx equals 7 sine x plus y. And the 7 sine x plus y cannot be separated out into a product of just the x terms and a product of just the y. Just an x function and just a y function. It's not possible. You can try as much as you like, even if you open up the sine x plus y by that trig formula, still you will discover that you cannot write the whole thing as a product of just x and a product of just y. So that's why this one is not separable. And as a general rule, anytime you see a sum involved between the two variables, whether with or without a trig function, that's already a red flag that that's not a separable equation. Okay. Determine whether this one is separable or not. Now this one is because, remember, you should be able to write it as a product of just a function of one of the variables times the other variable. So now this already is just a function of one variable. There's no mixture of x and y here. So this is just a function of y. And then we can just write it times 1. And that 1 will be a function of x. So let's see. So see, yes, because it can be written as g of x p of y, where g of x is 1 and p of y is this whole thing. So let's see here. Now, at first sight, it looks mixed up. So just because I see an x plus 2y is not an automatic conclusion that it's not separable. It's a different thing when they are in a trig function, but it's a different thing when they're on an exponential, because here there is a way of separating out. So let's write it out. Dy over dx is equal to x e power x plus 2y over y squared plus 1. So x e power x plus 2y over y squared plus 1. Now here, if we break up this exponential like this, e power x times e power 2y, which we can do, over y squared plus 1. And now you see it can be separated out into a product of x function times a product of y function. So if we write it like x ex times e to the 2y over y squared plus 1. So you see, this one is just a function of x times this one is just a function of y. So this is separable. So xex was the function of x, and e2y over y squared plus 1 is a function of y. So now let's go back. So let's see, xex was the function of x, and e2y over y squared plus 1 was a function of y. Determine whether the given differential equation is separable. So first we have to write it as dy over dx is equal to something. So the first step will be I can move this negative 7x dx on the right side. So I have xy4 plus 4y4. Let's see. So I have xy4 plus 4y4 is and times dy is equal to 7x dx. Yeah, I've moved this 7x dx on the right side of the equation, and then I bring the this dx down, so I get dy by dx 7x, and that other factor on the left comes in the denominator, xy4 plus 4y4. So I can also factor out a y4 from here, y4, and I'm left with x plus 4. And now you see this is separable because I can write it as 1 over y4 times 7x over x plus 4. So this one is just a function of y, and this one is just a function of x, and I've written it as a product of these two. So the function of y is 1 over y4, and the function of x is 7x over x plus 4. So let's see. 1 over y4, 7x over x plus 4. It's this one. And now we have to solve the equations, and we'll do that in the next segment.